Hey everyone, it's me, Peter at Paradise, and today's video is all about rat companionship. So I've had a lot of people ask me recently, should I get more than one rat or is it okay if I just have the one? Most are usually beginner rat owners, and I often have to repeat myself and explain about the importance of rat companionship, and there are quite a few people that feel by giving a rat the best care is enough. As long as you're giving them more toys, more things to do, they will stay fine by themselves, nice and happy. And firstly, I just want to start off by saying that that is absolutely not true. No matter how much you spoil them, if they don't have that rat friend, they will never be as happy as they would if they did have a companion. So I feel that this video is very much needed, as there are still so many people that don't know about the importance of rat companionship, and I want to get this across to quite a few people and make my point clear about the importance of rat companionship. So if you're watching this video, listen up. And hopefully after you've watched this video, you will see how important rat companionship is. In this video, I'm going to cover why do rats need companions, misconceptions on having more than one, what can happen without a companion, ways to help rats cope when they have lost their loved ones, the only exception to having one, and number of rats. Let's get started. Rat companionship is actually very much needed in a rat's life, and it's a huge essential for rats. Rats need this for so many things. Firstly, rats are very sociable animals and they need that companionship of their own kind with them at all times. So when you're not there, they're going to need someone there to keep them company for that amount of time. So I'm going to give you a huge list of some of the things they can do with each other. So they need a rat friend to snuggle up with, sleep with, keep each other warm, groom with, play fight with. They also love to follow each other, and they also like to decide who is boss. You'll often find in a pair or a group, one will decide who is boss. It's quite funny actually. They can communicate with each other. Yes, communicate. You may be thinking, how can rats communicate with each other? Well, they can, and they do it through squeaks, whines and clicks that us humans actually can't hear, including in ultrasonic frequencies, which is very interesting if you think about it. But as you can tell, they do a lot together that we as humans cannot offer them. So they need that rat to do those types of things with. Human companionship is never enough to replace the companionship of a rat. So if you're thinking, oh it's fine, I can just spend some extra time with that one rat and that'll be enough, actually it won't be nearly enough. No matter how much extra time you give to a rat, it is never going to be enough. You are not going to be with them every second of their life. You will be out of the house at times, as I said earlier, either school, working at a job, shopping, family time, and all of that is something you need to consider. And in that amount of time, that rat remains alone. So rats do need the companionship of their own kind, and if they have that rat friend, it has actually been proven that they will live much happier, longer and healthier lives. So it's vital that you get more than one. I do want to go through a couple of misconceptions because there are quite a few people who have in their head these things which are just not true, and I'm just going to point out a few and go through them. So firstly, some people feel that by having more than one rat will be more expensive to care for, and this is not true. You shouldn't have much of a problem when it comes to having more rats, because there shouldn't be much of a problem with food. Rats eat in limitless amounts anyway, so it's not like you're going to have to add an extra scoopful. So there isn't much of a difference when you have two from one, because ideally their bowls should be filled up anyway. I think the only expense side is from having to do more frequent cleaning, because if you have more than one, that does mean, yes, more mess, and obviously means you'll have to find yourself buying more bedding. And that's only if you're using a soft expensive type, for example Carefresh. If you're using something like Carefresh, then yes, I'm not surprised you're finding it expensive. That's why I highly suggest you go for a cheaper option. The best budget option of bedding I can recommend for rats is fleece. So if you're struggling with money, then that can be a great option and save you a lot of money in the long run. Also, some people believe that you will bond better with just one and you'll have more time for that rat. And by having another rat will make it harder for you to bond with your current rat and also spend time with them. Now, in some cases, yes, it can be true with the bonding better without having the other rat, but it will not be nearly as happy with you as they would with another rat. Also, they will love you just as much if they had a companion, so they'll still be bonded with you, but they'll be much happier because they have that rat friend. And And it's actually not that hard spending time with each rat if you think about it, because you'll be getting all of them out at the same time anyway, so in that time you can share out the time between each rat. So I don't see how that's much of a problem. There's also some people who think by having another rat will replace your bond with your rat. No, again, this is not true. Your rat will love you just as much even with having another rat, but they'll be a lot happier because they have that rat friend, but they can also appreciate your companionship too when you're with them. Without a friend, rats will get very lonely. When you're not there, they won't have anyone to snuggle up with, groom with, play with, all of the following I mentioned earlier. And just be there with them at all times. They can get stressed and depressed in being alone, and stress has actually been known to cause their immune systems to weaken, and a weakened immune system means that can actually lead to them becoming more susceptible to getting things like tumours. This has been scientifically proven that stress can cause tumours, and proven that lone rats are going to get more stressed. And in some cases, rats by themselves can actually cause behavioural problems and neurological problems too. So a lot of problems if your rat is by themselves. So I'll just give you a couple of tips you can use if your rat is currently alone. The first one is very obvious. Obviously spend a lot more time with that rat. You will need to be there with them whenever you can, whenever you have the free time, because they're going to need you to be there with them, need someone to play with and snuggle up to if they're the snuggly type. It's just for the meantime while you're looking for a friend for your rat, which you should be. A good thing to do when you're not there is to give your rat a soft snuggly toy that they can snuggle up to. Now yes, they will know it's not a rat, but they will appreciate the fact that it is something there for them to snuggle up with, and it's better than nothing. And remember, it's just for the meantime until they have a real rat friend to snuggle up to. Now, in very few cases, there are rats that cannot bond with other rats, and this tends to be with the males. I'm not saying every male, and I'm definitely not saying not at all females, because both females and males can sometimes not bond. It's just generally with the males that it's a little bit harder to bond with other rats. And what can happen in rare cases is that males can suffer from an excess of testosterone, which can lead to aggressive behaviour towards other male rats. But neutering can definitely help resolve the problem and the aggression, and I will be making a video on how to bond pairs or groups of rats, so I will be going into a whole load of detail about that in another video. Usually when rats can't get along with others, they will fight or attack. They'll just do anything to keep them away. So if this is the case, then yes, that rat must be housed alone for the safety of others. But this is the only exception to having one. If your rat cannot get along with any other rat, you've tried your best to bond them with various different rats, then the only option would be to have them housed alone. It just means you'll have to spend extra time with that rat to keep them well socialised, seeing as it's going to be by themselves. So the number is very important. The general rule is to have 2 or more. So never get or have just one. It's very important before you get your rats that your parents have allowed you to get 2 or more. It's no good if your parents are only allowing you to have 1. No matter how much you want rats, please don't give in to just having 1, because although you may be happy with your rat, that rat will be very miserable in result and won't live a happy long life because of it. If your parents won't let you get more than 1 and you've tried your best, so letting them know how important it is, then I would suggest you don't get any rats for that rat's sake. So you will need 2 or more rats. 3 can be an even better number, because if one were to get ill and sadly pass from that, then you still have 2 left, and they have each other instead of one by itself. Rats are pack animals, so they will work really well in groups, and it's actually best to have them in a pack, but they'll work really well and are just as happy in a pair. Think of rats as wolves. I know it's quite weird, but rats are a lot like wolves in terms of companionship. In the wild, wolves are pack animals and will stay in their packs constantly. If they do have to go off, they'll make sure they have a companion to go with. Rats are just like that. A lot of them will stay together as a pack and will be around each other all the time, and if they do have to leave, they'll usually bring another rat with them. So that's the video on rat companionship. So I hope you've learned a lot about rat companionship and realised how important it is for anyone who is getting rats, or if you currently have a lone rat at home thinking it's okay to keep them by themselves. Please consider everything I have said in this video and everything I've mentioned in this video is here to benefit you and your rats to ensure they are happier, and I wouldn't have included all of this information if it wasn't that important. So that's the video. Any comments or questions, leave them down below. If you like my videos and want to see more, then go subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, then don't forget to hit that like button to show support to my channel, or maybe share with others to help them out. And we'll see you next time. Bye!